Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi guys, and welcome to oneminutetennis.com. In today's session, I want to talk to you about the swing path on the forehand, and I want to show you the exact and precise movements that the best players in the world use to hit such power and spin. And then I'm going to show you a super simple way of finding and reproducing this swing path and adding a perfect forehand stroke to your game. There are three essential component parts in the modern forehand stroke that are really unnatural, and yet all three have to be present for you to hit your forehand to its potential and to hit power and spin the way that the best players in the world do. And those three components are that when we begin the stroke, we have to begin with the elbow leading the racket in the take back. So the racket goes back this way. The natural way for sure is to just take the racket back, but the first thing that happens is that the elbow moves back. And then as you begin the upswing to the ball, then the arm moves forwards, but the racket lags behind. So we have the elbow leading, which is unnatural, and then we have the hand coming forwards and the arm coming forwards, but the racket lagging behind. Elbow, and now the racket. And then as we drive through the ball, we want to create pronation where the limb turns inwards and the racket is projected outwards. So we have the elbow first, then the racket lagging behind, and then a pronated finish where the racket is whipped up through and away from the ball. And clearly with three totally unnatural movements, all of which have to be performed perfectly for you to hit with real power and real spin, then this is a very difficult movement for many players to acquire and apply into their stroke. This is why you see so many classic old-fashioned pushy forehands instead of modern, powerful thrown forehands. But I've got a great way of you applying this into your game very, very quickly. And to do this, we're going to have to use the concept of proprioception. I've mentioned this in other videos. Proprioception is when we have an awareness of what the body is doing without looking at it. Now, when playing complex sports such as tennis, then we are very unaware of what our body is doing. I'm sure everybody watching this video has videoed themselves and then looked and said, whoa, that's not me. I don't make movements like that. This is incredibly bad. This is because we're not aware of what we are really doing. But proprioception is a very strong sense in terms of the fingers, the thumbs and the feet. And we're going to use our awareness of what our fingers and thumbs are doing to apply these three unnatural concepts into your forehand and transform your stroke today. The first unnatural movement in the forehand is that when we take the racket back, then the elbow goes back first and the racket second. This is natural and this is unnatural. But we're going to focus entirely around the thumb, and as you take the racket back, I want you to point your thumb forwards. Don't worry where the racket goes, just point the thumb forwards. And by pointing the thumb forwards, then my racket is now behind the elbow and I have a perfect take back. If you close your eyes and make this movement, you'll be totally aware of what you're doing because the proprioceptive skill in the fingers and thumbs is very, very advanced. So the first part of the unnatural movements is that as the racket goes back, the thumb stays forwards. And you'll find that the racket is then perfectly placed behind the elbow and you have the perfect loaded phase. And now as you begin the upswing to the ball, the arm goes forwards and the thumb points backwards. Thumb forwards, thumb backwards, thumb forwards, thumb backwards. And you've now created a natural racket lag. Remember, don't think about the racket. If you think about the racket, it will become wooden and artificial, mechanical. But if you think about the thumb forwards and thumb back, thumb forwards and thumb back. And now, as you hit the ball and think about the ending of the stroke, think about the thumb going down. So forwards, back and down. Forwards, back and down. By using the thumb this way, we're using the part of the body that we have the greatest awareness of. And with the thumb forwards, I have the perfect take back. With the thumb moving backwards, I've created a racket lag. And then at the end of the stroke with the thumb pointing down, I've created pronation. It may be easier to see from this direction. Point the thumb forwards for the loading phase of this stroke. Then as you begin the upswing with the arm, the thumb points backwards and you have racket lag. And now from this position, point the thumb down and you have pronation. Potential energy, power and racket speed, and then spin. This is an easy path to follow because you'll be totally aware of what your hand is doing. And as we're thinking of the hand and not the racket, then you'll have a freedom to the swing and you'll have power and speed with the stroke. By using your proprioceptive skill, let's think of it as your superpowers. It's really easy to apply these movements into your forehand and start to hit with real power, speed and spin. If this is helpful to you or you like any of our other ideas, check out our books on Amazon. We have books on every aspect of the game, and the books are unique with great visual illustrations, great explanations, and everything is linked to YouTube videos so you can see, read and view all of our suggestions and all of the results. Or join players in over 40 countries that I'm helping all over the world of all ages and all levels with a unique blend of video analysis and one-to-one coaching. For more information, check out the website or email me. So use your proprioceptive power, use your superpower. Point the thumb forwards and the racket is prepared and loaded. Point the thumb backwards and you've created the perfect racket lag for racket speed and power. And point the thumb down and you've got pronation that will give you power, spin and control. Thanks for watching and see you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really work.